Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to have a chat about using technology in the classroom, the pros, the cons and how to incorporate it correctly. So let's dive right in. The use of technology in the classroom has become increasingly popular throughout the recent years all across the globe. From laptops and tablets to applications or online learning platforms, technology is being used on the daily within our classroom environment. Now, it's important to know what goes well, what could be better, and how to incorporate it accurately and effectively in our school classrooms. First of all, let's look at the pros. Number one, building a positive classroom culture. Creating a positive classroom culture is essential for students and for them to have an effective learning throughout their day. This includes establishing rules, expectations, and promoting a sense of belonging within their own classroom. Technology can be a powerful tool to aid us in creating a positive classroom culture. And here are a few reasons how it can help. First of all, communication. Through different platforms or applications, technology can help us communicate if we're not in the classroom. Teachers with students, students with other students, whether this be completing online learning, discussing homework, or just having a general chat about well-being. An example would be the application Seesaw. Children can use this to communicate with their teachers. Teachers can put announcements online, and parents can also communicate with the teachers and their children throughout the school day. This then helps keep everyone informed about what's going on in the day and keeps them enthusiastic about their learning. The students feel like they have their place, they know through this technology they can have their say. So that helps build a more positive and inclusive classroom culture. Next up, we have collaboration. Technology is great at producing collaboration within the primary classroom. Tools such as Google Documents, Seesaw, Google Slideshow, it allows students to work together as a team to be able to record their findings or present a project. They can also use it to give feedback to one another, as well as parents and teachers being able to give feedback too. Using technology in a group fashion allows children to work on that collaboration skill and being able to listen to one another and communicate effectively and collaborate effectively. Next up, we have personalization. Now, technology is fantastic for teachers to be able to use to personalize work for their class, for a specific student, based on their needs or interests. Adaptive learning platforms can be used to help students learn at their own pace, and the teacher knows that the student is still getting what they need. These platforms can also provide teachers with data. For example, if a student is isolating or they're unwell, but they are still doing home learning, they can complete these activities online on whatever application they are set. And then this data from the answers they provide can be sent to the parent or the teacher, depending on who has set the activity. And they can see how they've done and they can identify the gaps in their learning instantly. So they can then put interventions in place, possibly with more technology, in order to help scaffold that learning and fill those gaps. Using technology in this fashion can create a happy and supportive learning environment that meets the needs of all students. Now, let's talk about engagement. Technology is fantastic in hooking children into the lesson. They love using technology, and we need to get with the times. They use it every day, everywhere. And many jobs, they are now required to have technological skills. So why not make lessons more engaging and fun? Specifically think about your review and revision sessions. For example, if you are reviewing some times tables, why have them fill in a times table grid? Why not have them play Hit the Button or Times Table Rockstar instead? They get the exact same learning, the exact same revision, just in a more fun and interactive way. Using technology in this way creates a positive attitude towards learning, and your more reluctant learners are eager to join in. And then there's accessibility. Technology can be used so that all students, no matter their level, no matter their interest, no matter their need, can participate. Technology can be amazing in this sense. One example would be an AI text-to-speech technology. This could be where a student that has some kind of visual impairment needs a bit more assistance in reading. Now, some platforms, such as Natural Reader, can really help with this. You can copy your text that you need into the platform, click the style of reader you need, whether it be a child, an author, female voice, male voice. There's so many to choose from, including their accent. And then you can click play. It will highlight the text as it's being read. It will enlarge the text. The student can pause and play, repeat it. That's even more fantastic if a child struggles with multi-step instructions. Write them down, have it ready on this application on an iPad, for example. And then throughout the lesson, they can click play. They will hear the instructions again and again, which will save the teacher time going around. The student will feel more independent, and it makes the lesson accessible. Using technology like this promotes a culture of inclusivity and respect. So that was a positive classroom environment. But what about promoting social emotional development? Social emotional development refers to the development of being able to recognize and understand your own emotions and apply them to social situations, understanding social cues and what to do next. This is a really important aspect of child education, as it lays the foundation for future success, whether that be academic or social or emotional. And here are some ways that technology can help. First of all, using interactive and engaging activities. There are many applications or games that children can use that helps them learn about emotions and social scenarios, but it makes it in a less intimidating and fun environment. Children are able to pick up what they're learning faster because it's a game, and they are being more engaged and enticed into that learning. These kinds of activities used through technology can help a child increase their social awareness, their self-awareness, their self-regulation, and their empathy. Next up, you can use video calls. Technology can be used to facilitate social interactions between one another, especially if your student isn't physically in the classroom. Video call platforms such as Zoom or Google Meet can be used to connect students with the class if they're not in the classroom, the teacher or a tutor if additional help is needed, or some schools use it for a virtual Spanish lesson or French lesson with someone else in another school in another country. Using technology in this way can help them improve their social interactions, turn-taking skills, active listening and communication. Then there's digital storytelling. Technology can be used where children can create their own digital stories to promote emotional social awareness. For example, students can create their own digital books online where they get to share their own experiences, their emotions, different outcomes, and things that could have gone differently. This can help children improve their empathy, their perception of activities, their storytelling skills, and their own perspective on things. So that was social emotional development. But let's talk about access to information. Technology can increase the amount of information a child can access in a number of ways. First of all, online research. Technology can provide children with access to information through different research methods. Search engines such as Google, or better yet, Kiddle, the child version of Google, that is filtered accurately, can help students with research projects, with just general questions that they have in a safe environment, especially if they are using a child-friendly search engine such as Kiddle. Then there are digital libraries. Children can have access to so many different texts to read to their heart's desire by using digital libraries. Some platforms can provide millions of ebooks or audiobooks for the child to enjoy. Some platforms even accompany this with educational videos. Now, there are also many educational apps. Technology can provide access to educational applications that can provide a more interactive and engaging learning environment. For example, there are many applications where children can learn phonics in mini lessons from trained professionals. Access to educational applications just increase the opportunities children have to improve their learning. Speaking of learning, there is distance learning that technology can help with. Now, we all remember having to go through lockdown and children working either in the classroom directly or from home using some kind of technology. Now, some children may still every now and then be learning from home for various reasons, and distance learning technology is vital for that. Technology used in this sense allows teachers to set work, parents to communicate with teachers and vice versa, students to still be able to connect with their friends in class and speak to their teachers on the daily basis. So that was having access to information. The last pro that I'm going to chat about before we move on to cons and incorporating technology in the classroom is going to be how to prepare children better for the digital world. First of all, let's talk about digital literacy. Technology is vital in improving your child's digital literacy skills. And this is very important for many, many careers there are now, and careers that haven't even been invented yet that most children will end up in. By learning now how to use tablets, computers, different pieces of technology, no matter what they are better preparing themselves for the digital world. They are better preparing themselves for the real world where they will have a job and they will have access to this information, this technology constantly. And they will be required to use it to complete their tasks during the day. Next up is online communication. Now, using technology in the classroom is a fantastic way to prepare children now for the digital world and using online communication. I send many an email during my workday, as I'm sure most of you do. And being able to write an effective email or being able to write out a letter on a computer or to be able to proofread something and correct it, be able to know the correct format for whatever platform you are using is imperative to be able to complete your job to the best of your ability. So having children use technology and learning how to write emails or letters online is really important for preparing them for those tasks. One way that schools can do this is by having a pen pal abroad and having them write an email to them, or writing a letter on Word and emailing that across with a cover email. These skills are really preparing the children for the digital world. Then there is digital citizenship, possibly one of the most important. By teaching children how to use specific technology safely, we are preparing their digital citizenship for the rest of their lives. They will know how to use technology safely. They will know how to be safe online. They will know what privacy means and how to protect themselves. And they will know what to do in the unfortunate event that something may happen. By teaching them about digital citizenship now, we're preparing them for the digital world where anything could happen. So that all sounds great, right? All those pros? Nothing could go wrong? Well, let's just have a look at a couple of cons quickly about using technology in the classroom. First up is the digital divide. Now, this is where children in the classroom may not be able to have equal access to technology outside of the classroom. They may not know how to use things if they come from a disadvantaged area. Some children may be able to quickly pick up on technology because they use it every day. Some children may only be able to use it when they come into school. So it's the teacher's responsibility to make sure that everything is used and accessed equally, and that everyone, no matter their advantages or disadvantages, they can have fun and they can access the learning, and there is no digital divide within the classroom, even though there might be some outside the classroom. Then unfortunately there's cyberbullying. Now, cyberbullying is that where you are bullied online. Now, although we do teach children about online safety, this can still happen. Schools do their very best to educate children on what to do, how to be safe, but obviously it's ultimately up to parents outside of schools on how to support their children. You need to make sure that you are checking the age ratings of the platforms they are using, making sure that they haven't received any messages, making sure that they know what to do outside of school. It's easy in school, put your hand up in class and say, "Hi miss, this doesn't seem right, can you help me please?" But when they're at home using this technology constantly or they're out with their friends, Parents need to make their children aware of what they expect them to do and what is right and where they need to go when they are at home. So parents, again, please check that the applications your children are using are appropriate for their age. And please check the privacy settings on every application they are using. Finally, for the cons, there is the possibility for distraction. Now, every teacher knows that as soon as you get technology out in the classroom, the class goes wild. They are very excited to use it, and rightly so, but they need to be able to use it in a calm environment. So teachers, spend time setting out your ground rules, putting in place how long they can spend on the technology, and just practice that for a while. They should be able to not be distracted, turn the tablet over, put the mouse away. They won't be wiggling around or moving things or clicking on things or accidentally playing that video they shouldn't be playing while you're trying to teach them. But just be prepared, there will be a few distractions along the way. So those were the pros and cons, but how do you actually incorporate using technology effectively in your classroom? Well, here are a couple of steps that you can take. Number 1, identifying your school's goals and objectives. Your school should know the reason behind why they are using technology and how they want to use it moving forward. Is it for assessment reasons? Is it for engagement? Is it for filling gaps? Or is it for interventions? Have a key understanding of specifically why you want technology, not just for having technology for the sake of it. Step number 2, assess your current resources. What technology do you have in the school? What is outdated? What software needs updating? What budget do you need in place in order to get new resources? What would you like to get, but what do you actually need? Step number 3, develop your budget. Speak to your governing body, your head teacher, your admin, whoever is in charge of your budget, and make sure you know exactly how much you can spend on technology and use it accurately and sparingly. Make sure you have some left over for when you need to update something or something may accidentally get broken. Know if you're going to use it on software or hardware or both. Just make sure you have the budget in place before you start pitching these fantastic ideas. Step number 4, identifying professional development needs within your school. Now, as much as technology is fantastic, it also petrifies some teachers as they are not used to the technology or some of the advanced technology. Everything that is new to the school, you need to make sure that you understand how to use it, or you can provide someone with experience that can come in and do some CPD with your staff so they are confident in how to use it, especially if it is being used with the children. Step number 5, establishing clear policies and guidelines. Now, if you're bringing technology into your school or into your classroom, you need to make sure there are very clear and strict policies and guidelines that staff are going to follow. You need to make sure that you have your online safety policy. You need to make sure that everyone is trained in e-safety. You need to make sure everyone is trained with their safeguarding, and you need to make sure everyone is trained with using that technology. You need to make sure there are policies and guidelines on what to do if something does go awry. And you need to make sure that these are in place well before you are asking staff to use said technology. And finally, number 6, evaluating progress. Once you have incorporated your technology into the classroom, set some time period goals of when you want to be assessing how well the technology went. For example, I brought something into my last school, and the idea was that after the first term, I spoke to staff and children and got their thoughts and conducted training based off of this on their needs and wants and desires. And then the next bit was at the end of the year to evaluate how effective it had been. You may then, the year after, look at the data, because the first year of having some kind of new technology in school is usually an adjustment period. And then the year afterwards, you really see its impact. So make sure you set out time to assess if this technology is going the way you want it to and what training you can put in place to make sure it does. So, the impact of using technology in the classroom can be so significant and far-reaching, from increased access to information, to progressing communication skills, to understanding online safety and being a good digital citizen. Children have a great potential for improving their learning through the use of technology. However, it is still important to remember that there are cons to using it in the classroom, and you have to have clear rules and guidelines set in place. So that's it for this video. I do hope you find the information helpful. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments below. Or if you have any tips or tricks about using technology in the classroom, please let me know. If you thought this video was great and helpful, please hit that like button. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button while clicking that little bell to make sure you stay up to date with all things primary progression. Once again, thank you for watching. I'm Hannah, this is Primary Progression. Have a fantastic day.